Hey guys, M4J here, and welcome back to my Steamish career here on Football Manager 2018. We are just a few games into the season, actually, which is quite rare. Normally I don't do episodes just a few games into the season. However, I have stumbled across something which I'm very excited about, which is a total game changer. It's something that I was already vaguely aware of, used it a couple of times, didn't think it worked very well, and stopped using it. And then I was doing some background reading on the game, and it suddenly sprung to mind that I hadn't used it in a while. Looked up a couple of tutorials, tried using it again, and it's actually very, very good. It's very clever. It's match plans. So if I show you very quickly, this is my tactic. It's a little bit different to what it used to be. I've now got it set to control, very fluid, and I've reduced the number of instructions that we have from kickoff. So basically the team practices something very, very simple. You can see the intensity, it's still fairly high. But the familiarity is also, pretty good now. In fact, mentality is a little off. Marking is awkward. Passing style is still a little bit low, and so is position. But match plans are very, very nice to have, depending on different scenarios. And the reason this came up in my head again is because I was watching matches in full match mode. And sometimes you don't want to make any changes, you just want to watch the game. Sometimes you wish the game could make the changes for you, and that's exactly what match plans do. So you can see here I have 9 different scenarios all set up here. The idea is, if any of these scenarios are hit, then one of our new tactics here will kick in to ensure that we either keep the score if we're winning, or try and get back into the game if we're losing. So for example, if we're winning by 1 goal in the 75th to 85th minute, we switch to a 4-2-3-1 DM. So instead of playing a 4-2-3-1 AM, which is what we're currently doing, the attacking midfielder will drop deep, and I think it does auto subs as well, because I accidentally did an auto sub in one match where I went 3-0 up very early on. I'll show you which game that was in just a second. And it took off Feruz and brought on Kenlock to play as a right wing back. So what I've tried to do is switch the formation to a formation that we can still use with the players that we start the game with. That's the plan. If we're winning by a goal between the 85th and 90th minutes, then we switch to a narrow 4-2-3-1. Sorry, that's a 4-3-2-1. That's not what that's supposed to be at all. It's supposed to be a 4-2-3-1. I'm now starting to wonder, is there such thing as a narrow 4-2-3-1? It's 4-2-4. 4-2-3-1-0. That's a good idea to have. In fact, you can see on that screen as well. I'll show you this one. So we switch to a different formation. We also switch the mentality. We switch the shape, and we issue loads of new instructions. My favourite ones are if we're losing by a goal. 75th to 85th minute, we switch to a 4-3-3. We go overload, 4-3-3 narrow that is, and go to overload. So basically 4 in defence, 3 midfielders, 3 strikers, and we just pummel the ball forward. We've got it set to long ball tactics. If we're still losing by a goal in the 85th to 90th minutes, then we go 3-4-3. So basically we sacrifice a defender and throw them into midfield to try and get back into the game. And again, we go to overload, long ball tactics. The ones that I have been using quite a lot are these two here. So if we're winning by a goal, and we've just scored to go 1-0 up, then for the next 10 minutes, we will play the same formation, and obviously the same players, but we will play a lot more defensive. So in this case we play contain, and the idea behind that is so that once we're 1-0 up, we stay 1-0 up for 10 minutes, and then we go back to whatever we were doing before, which clearly worked because it put us 1-0 up. Likewise, if we're 2-0 up and then the opposition scored to go 2-1 up, for us to go 2-1 up that is, then this one kicks in. So winning by 1+ goal for 10 minutes after conceding a goal. And technically this also works if we're 3-0 up and they score to make it 3-1. And again, it's basically the same thing. So instead of switching to contain, we switch to counter. The idea is we try and catch them on the counter attack and restore the however many goal advantage. But again, we go to the same tactic but slightly more defensive. We play narrower, I believe is one of the instructions. We drop right back towards our own goal line, and we just try and suffocate the game. Same thing here. If we win in by 3 goals at any time, we play a very controlled game. We go into a very slow tempo. We don't take risks. We just look at keeping possession. And if we're losing by 3+ goals at any time during the game, we go to a different tactic that I've set up, which is a 4-4-2, and we go to counter, and we try. Actually, I don't think that is 4-4-2. I think that one is 3 at the back, 2 wing backs, 2 in midfield, and 3 up front. Does that sound right? I think that sounds like too many. It's this tactic that we switch to. And the idea behind that is if we're playing in cup games or something along those lines, and I need to mess that up then. If we're playing in a cup game against a bigger team and we go 3-0 down, it just damage limitations really. We're not going to get back into the game at that point, so we might as well just stop them scoring. And again, it's kind of negative tactics in many ways. It's designed to suck the life out of the game, but it's worked. We haven't actually had to use this one yet, but we used this one a couple of games ago. I'll show you that in just a second. And we use these two all the time in matches. The drawing at any time one. Now, the standard tactic I've got at the moment is fairly basic. This one kicks in pretty much from kickoff, and it's the tactics that we had before, except instead of overload, it's set to attacking. And that's one of the big things actually, is the mentality. A lot of my players were getting tired, and we were conceding a lot of goals late on in matches because our players were getting tired. And I knew why. It's because we were set to overload all the time. And that's kind of what I was missing in the past. Was I wish there was a way to auto switch the mentality when you score certain goals. And yeah, there is. It's match plans, and that's what reminded me of that. Because if we can get to a point in the game where we don't need to attack anymore, then we might as well just sit deep. We don't have to make any substitutions or anything. We can just change the tactics that the team are playing. And it's actually worked very, very nicely, as I say. So the first time I used it was in this game, the Barnet game. And, you know, we won. So it worked really well. We've actually had a pretty decent run. We had a horrible start. As you see, we lost against Charlton, then we lost against Wickham. We're unbeaten since then. Nice 2-0 win against Fleetwood with Barmby and Falovi scoring. That was a really nice goal from Falovi, actually. It was a Rooney corner to the near post, and Falovi just volleyed it into the back of the net. Then we had a 2-2 draw against Oxford, goals from Hancock and Farouz. 1-1 draw against Colchester with a goal from Samuel. And then a 3-1 win here against Sheffield United. 2 goals from Samuel and a goal from Hancock, who is now our main striker. I figured why not play the youngster up front. He's actually doing very, very well, so it's working. Samuel scored the goal against Barnet. And this is the one where the weird thing happened. So I had it set up originally so that once we went 3-0 up, we switched to that formation that we currently switch to if we're 3 goals down in a cup game, or just 3 goals down. So what happened was Hancock scored first, pretty early on. Then we went into the once we've scored for 10 minutes, play quite defensively, but we kept winning corners. So the first one was swung in, headed from the back post to the near post, and King volleyed it in to make it 2-0. Then, like, what was it, 7 minutes after that, pretty much a carbon copy of that goal. Ball swung into the back post, headed back across goal, King volleyed it in to make it 3-0. And then that's when the system change kicked in. So we went to that 3 at the back formation, which was quite easy because I had Baptiste playing at right back in that game because Jones was on international duty. So actually I think Baptiste is still playing right back. I need to check that. So Baptiste moved into the centre back role, but then the way the system's set up is there's no attacking midfielder in that system. So Farouz moved to the right wing back position, but he can't play right wing back. So then he got subbed off and Kenlock got brought on just to play as the wing back. So we were 3-0 up inside the 24th minute, and then we made that substitution straight after that, also in the 24th minute. So I've switched it now so that we don't do formation changes like that when we're winning, because I think that's a bit stupid. Once you're losing, you will make changes to try and stop yourself conceding more than 3 goals. And then we played Coventry, and this is where the system really kicked in, because after the Shrewsbury game I made some amendments and also added some more scenarios to the match plans, and this game was just fantastic. So McEachran scored very early on, 4th minute, with a really nice passing move game. They equalised in the 9th minute. We then scored again in the 19th minute, 34th minute and the 49th minute, and also the 57th minute. So we were, was that 5-1? Must be. They then scored in the 65th minute, and then we also scored in the 65th minute. Hancock grabbing a brace, Barmby scoring, Farouz scoring, McEachran scoring, and King scoring. So we wiped the floor with Coventry. And hopefully we get to do the same thing again today. So Baptiste is still playing at right back, but we're going to change that. Jones is back and available, so we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. Actually, where's Phillips? Phillips should be available for this game. Anybody else that wasn't available before? Oh yeah, we did make another signing. Christian Bellic has joined us on loan from West Ham. At the time, it's because the defence were playing terribly, but as you can see, I've made a change here. Eastham did drop out because of injury, and he is still injured. He had a hip injury, that's right. 2 to 3 months, I think it said to start with. I know he said 4 to 5 months, but that's a very long time. That's basically a season. Now it's down to 3 to 7 weeks, so he's still out for a little while. So with Eastham's injury and us not playing very well at the back, I did bring in Bellic, who will play, but I moved King back into defence alongside Segura, and they've actually been playing quite well. I mean, we're still conceding goals, obviously, but not as many goals. And attacking-wise, we are absolutely dominating. So I'm quite happy with that. Bjordal's going to drop out, A, because he's injured, and B, because he's a whiny little child. Always complains. I played him for a couple of games, and he was atrocious. So I brought Barmby back in, and then Barmby started playing well. So I kept Barmby in the team. And then Bjordal came up to me and said, why am I not playing in the team? He wants first team football, essentially. Which normally I'd be a bit more sympathetic. But when I gave him the chance, he was absolute rubbish. Probably one of the worst debuts I've ever seen from a player in my Football Manager career. In that first game that he played in. So I just told him that he wasn't playing very well enough. And he asked what he had to do to improve. And I think I was maybe a bit too brutally honest with him. Because I said... I can't remember the exact phrasing. It was something along the lines of, you wingers are all the same. Sometimes a lot of you don't know when to take on your man and when to pass it. Basically, that's exactly what he was doing. He was always running into people and giving the ball away. So I said that to him, and he took it very badly, and then the squad reacted. So I told them, how would you like it if I dropped you so that someone who's whining can play? And the majority of them understood the situation and dropped it. A couple that didn't. Ironically, or perhaps not ironically, the ones that wouldn't drop it are the ones who are also not getting first team football. So, and there you go, Barmby's scoring that header. Not hella. It's late at night again. I keep recording these episodes late at night. I shouldn't really do that. Alright, so we were playing the fast-flowing attacking football. It's actually based around the idea of short passes and things like that. So passing's not set to mixed at the moment, it's set to short. And it does work really, really nicely, as you see. And then sometime up here, I think it might have already done it. Oh, it hasn't done it. I might have messed it up because I did skip the tactics briefing before the game. And also because I changed the tactics to show you guys what that system looked like. So maybe I have messed it up a little bit. But the system is supposed to have changed to contain. I think it's contain. Maybe it is control. Maybe it is control. Right, Roberts, he passes it to Wyke. There we go, equalised. So I haven't actually got one set up for drawing having just conceded. So I'm probably going to have to set that up. So that we don't double concede within the space of a few minutes. But now we're back to drawing. Is this going to change? This should go green. A green bar should appear. And it says we've swapped systems. Currently it's telling us the Oxford score. That's assistant advice. That's the Gillingham score. Alright, let me check on here. Have we swapped? No, we haven't. Okay. I think I might have messed it up then. For this game. But I will have it set up for the next game. We'll play 2 games this episode so I can show you what it looks like. It's still a little bit finicky the way you have to set it up. Which is a little bit annoying. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I think they can improve it for next season, next year, for FM 19. Forgot the year then. Certainly lots of goals going in around the leagues. We weren't doing really well in the league actually. I mean, we're just dropped out the playoff places now after 8 games. We are 7 points off top. At one point, I think we were only 4 points off top, but I believe the teams above us did have a game in hand, which is why they're now 7 points clear. But I do like the attacking football that we were playing. We'll definitely get that up again for next time. It hasn't switched, has it? No, it hasn't. I might have to do a manual switch then. I mean, we're still playing some nice stuff. It's a good goal from Barnby. McEachran there brings it down. It's nice that we can have McEachran and Longstaff in the same midfield as well. Because of the loan rules we had last year, we could only have one or the other. Mostly because my defence was mostly made up of loanees. And because we had... I mean, we've still got a lone keeper, I suppose, on the bench. Oh, yes. Fluky goal, but I'll take it. Hancock with the beautiful finish there. Which he did not mean at all. And that's moved us up to 4th, that goal. Nice. So it was Jones with the attempted cross. It was blocked. Longstaff pounced on it. Played it to Feruz, who's actually doing really well this season. And Barnby with the layoff. Hancock did control it, but the defender kicked it off him, and it went in. That is Hancock's 5th of the season? 6th of the season? I'm trying to remember now. He scored a lot of goals this season. The team scored a lot of goals. You look at our goal difference. There's only one team that scored the same number of goals as us, and that's Cardiff, who are top. We have conceded a few, mind. I mean, we've conceded 9 goals in 8 games. That's not that bad. I mean, I'm very hypercritical of my team, as you know. But that's actually not that bad. We've scored 20, conceded 9, goal difference of 11. I was about to say the same as Cardiff's almost, but they've scored 21 and conceded 7, and they're top of the league. So we've got good form. We have got good form. We've also got a defence that's not actually playing that well today. Jack King's on a 6.4 and Segura's on a 6.6. So plenty of room for improvement still. Nice touch by Hancock there. Finding Longstaff. His ball over the top to Samuel. Heads it down towards Hancock. Cleared by the defender. Luckily Segura picked up on that clearance. Right, yes. I'm a bit annoyed about that match plans thing. Mainly because it took me a long time to work out how to make it work. And I think for first time players, like if someone bought the game for the first time this year, they probably would have picked it up a little bit easier because it's a brand new game, therefore everything's new. But when you're an experienced player, I've been playing Football Manager for 12 years now. I think 2006 was my first proper game. I did play 2005 around my friend's house, but I think 2006 was the first proper Football Manager game I played. So I've been playing it for a long time now, and it's a new feature, and I couldn't work out how to do it. Like I understood the principle behind it, of you set up scenarios for different scenarios within the game. I got that. It was how to implement what I'd set up so that it actually happened in matches, because it was very obvious when I was playing through games that it wasn't taking effect. So it wasn't even like a gradual learning curve. I had to learn it all in one go by watching these tutorials, and then I tried it out, and it just happened to work. So I'm a little bit miffed about that. I think there were some problems with it to start with as well, because I did look on the forums, people were complaining about it. But it's a new feature, so it's always going to have teething problems, and it looks like they've patched out all of the issues. The one problem with this at the moment is we're playing a very high line. And that could come back and bite us, because our defenders aren't the fastest. The other thing that I did resolve was with Mason, who as you can see is playing at left back again. It was my fault that he kept bombing forward. It's because I'd set them both to full back attacking. So now I've set them back to full back automatic. They actually know when to run and when not to run. And we're defending a lot better because of that. So it turns out Mason is actually a good left back. I was telling him to do the wrong thing, and he was following me too literally. Is the excuse I'll give. He was being too literal. I was telling him what to do, and he was literally doing it word for word. Oh, I was about to say great finish by Longstaff, but not quite. Got corner though. which Hancock will take. Not great corner, cleared very easily. He should have really chased that down as well, but decided not to. Yeah, we got this hybrid system that we're playing at the moment, which is not doing us much good in this particular game. I'm going to make the sub, bringing Kenlock on for Mason, because Mason's not playing well. And at this point, I really do just want to hold on to the lead. Hancock with a free kick. Oh, yes. There we go. That's his... Doesn't tell us. How many goals have you scored, Josh? Didn't tell us how many goals he'd scored then. It probably did at the bottom, because I was looking at the top, I missed it. I had this feeling when he stepped over... Oh, it deflected off the wall. I was about to say, I had a feeling when he stepped over it that he was going to score. But yeah, that took a massive deflection, which no doubt helped it on its way in. I think the keeper would have got it otherwise. So a little bit unlucky there for them. Very lucky for us. Yeah, we're definitely not getting the tactics working. Okay, we'll fix it for the next game. I think we've got Oldham in the next match. Oldham or Oxford? No, it can't be Oxford. I'm sure we've already played Oxford. Oh, bloody hell. Hitting the post there. Bit twitchy there. Not going to lie. Right, just over 8 minutes to go. Just under 8 minutes to go. Yeah, too high defensive line again. Great save. Great save, Fryer. Very well done. Just hope we can see this game out now. That is the one thing I'm still going to have to remember to do is... yes, most of the tactics are handled automatically, but the subs are not. So you do still have to make them yourself, unless it's making subs to fit the new tactic, of course. Then it does it automatically. I'm going to bring Kennedy on, because he's not played yet this season. It's not through his own fault, it's my fault, because I keep signing attacking players. We got so many attacking players now. We need to get rid of some in the next transfer window. Maybe loan them out. I can see myself loaning Tony out for the rest of the season. Ah, there we go. Knew we were going to break at some point. Okie dokie. I won't get too downtrodden about that. If we concede again, then I'll be a little bit upset. But right now, we should be able to hold on. Hope. I'll turn to concentrate. Fryer with a kick forward. To absolutely no one. That's not good, Joe. Rather you kicked it out for a throw in there. Alright, cross comes in. Oh no. Oh no. Oh god. Right. Pause. We're going to go overload. I'm going to do that. 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 And that. And that. And that. Alright. Because we've absolutely blown it. I had a feeling something would go wrong as soon as I start showing you guys what I've been doing. Just had this little feeling in the back of my mind. That's going to be full time now, isn't it? Yep. Alright, Segura with the header. And there goes full time whistle. Okay, so we'll gloss over that. Obviously it happened, but we'll just accept it and we'll move on. Come on, game. There we go. Right. So if I go tactics, match plans, use, I'm going to add another scenario. And that's if we're drawing for 10 minutes after conceding a goal. We're going to go this system. We're going to go counter. And we're going to go highly structured. And then we're going to do things like retain possession, shorter passing, clear ball to flanks, dribble less. Basically anything that we can do to give the ball away, don't do that. What was that? Exploit the middle. Yeah, okay, we'll exploit the middle. Look for underlap. Play much narrower. We're going to drop much deeper defensive line. Stick to positions. Close down much more. And much lower tempo. So just kill the game again. For 10 minutes, be more disciplined. And then we'll start playing again. Okay, so that's now set. Use versus Southend. And hopefully it's all set up properly. So Barmby's out for 3 to 4 weeks with a calf strain, which is not that good. These are all my players that I've got out on loan. My unbeaten record is 7 matches, which is pretty darn good if I do say so myself. Quite pleased with that. Then we should get a little message in a second asking about tactics. Now here's the thing, because I skipped the briefing last time, and I don't know whether that's why it didn't work, or whether it was because I changed the formation, and that's why it didn't work. I don't know. Genuinely don't know. If someone knows in the comments, do let me know. But yeah, it's a bit of a mystery. It's one of those things. It's like when I used to do engineering and we did fault finding. It was always one of these things where if just one thing was wrong, it's very easy to find the problem and fix it. But if 2 things are wrong, or if 2 things could potentially be wrong, then it's a question of, was it both of them that caused the fault? Was it one of them, or was it the other one of them? And until you test each individual bit, you don't really know. I don't really have the opportunity right now to test each individual bit. So I'm going to go off the assumption that it's because I changed the system to show you guys what that system looked like. But it could be because I skipped the briefing. Here's where I'm a little bit confused though, because if I leave the pre-match tactics briefings to my assistant, then do the match plans still get taken forward? Or do I have to manually go through the pre-match tactics briefing and not even skip it or hand it over to assistant just to make sure those match plans are actually implemented? I do not know. Because I know in the tactics briefings you can choose which match plans are taken forward and which ones aren't. And I feel like that's part of the problem. It's maybe because I skipped the meeting. Rhoda took out all of the ones that I had set up. I do not know. One other thing actually that I forgot to mention, which I will mention now, staff. I made some staff changes during the close season. So I went and asked the board very, very nicely, and Mr. Wallace allowed me to hire an extra coach. So we now have a new head of youth development. Paul Groves is our new head of youth. As you can see, he's got very, very good stats for a head of youth development. We have a new goalkeeping coach, Stephen Lowe, who is better than Chris Day, but not by a massive amount, but he is still better. Got a new fitness coach, Lee Southernwood. I don't think we had a fitness coach before, so it's nice to have one now. Steve Thompson is a new first team coach. Again, pretty middle of the road. Grant McCann, who was Peterborough manager in real life until very recently, he's another first team coach. And then we've got Ian Brunskill. He's also a first team coach. I'm sure these guys had better stats when I hired them. But I made each coach focus on different things. So Brunskill is focusing on mental, tactical and technical. McCann is focusing predominantly on attacking and defending, but also on motivating and discipline. And then Thompson is focusing also on attacking and defending and determination. Although I think that's his individual stats and not the ones he actually passes on to players, but still, good stats, so I'm pretty happy. And I think I made a couple of changes in the youth team as well, but nothing massive, nothing worth writing home about. Right, I'm going to handle the briefing myself, and at this point normally I just talk to team and I ask them to target the key players and target Kanu, and then just end the meeting. And in the past, that has helped the tactics, the match plans, carry over into the match. So here we go for the second game of today. Now, is Bjordal still injured? Where is he? We've got so many players. Bjordal, 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 Bjordal. You're not injured, you're just unhappy. So we're going to put you in for Barnby from the start. But if you don't do very well, then Cullen's going to play there until Barnby's back. There you go. Apart from Hancock up front and King in defence, it's minimum of 3-star across the team, which is pretty damn good. I do say so myself. Pretty damn good. Alrighty. So, go through all of this. Kick off. Now, look out for that green bar at the top of the screen, because it should appear pretty early on in the game to say that we switched to the attacking style. That's another key thing, is I've not gone overload this time as a default. I've gone for just attacking. And it's not taken place just yet. Now I'm really confused. Is it working or not? I don't think it is it? It doesn't look like it is. Why is it not working? I hate this game sometimes. I love it and I hate it. And the reason I hate it is because I love it so much. But there's things that just annoy me. This is definitely one of those things. So basically we're flying blind at the moment. The players are just doing what they want to do, because we've got so many team tactics that I would normally... team instructions, sorry, that I would normally issue that I haven't. They're basically just doing what they want out there. Doing it well, mind. There you go, 1-0. Bjordal! Fantastic. Nice to see he's finally decided to join the party when it comes to playing well. Jones with a magnificent piece of play on that right hand side. I mean, Bjordal got involved there, found Hancock, Longstaff, played it to Farouz, out to Jones. Nice first time cross into the middle, and I thought Hancock might have got it, but nope, it was Bjordal. And we're 1-0 up. Okie dokie. So at this point we would switch to the contain formation, but yeah, it's not worked. Alright, so I'll have to have a look at that off camera. I didn't actually check when I went into the tactics briefing. I didn't check if they were all there. So that's my fault. Well, there you go, 2-0. Was Bjordal onside? He was. Unbelievable. I mean, I gave him a talking to as well, I suppose, but you know, he wasn't in the team for a reason. Barnby gets injured, Bjordal comes in and he scores twice. Oh well. It's one of these blessings in disguise, really. Poor cross from Farouz, must be said. Keeper made an absolute mare of it. And Bjordal took advantage. We're up to 3rd in the league now. I did think, because, was it 2 episodes ago? I said we would do like we did in League 2, where we have an alright season but could have done better, and then next season we'll dominate the league and win it. And then after last episode, I didn't think that was possible, because we had such a woeful start. Two really flat performances, lacking in absolutely everything. But since then, apart from the match plans, I haven't really changed much. But they've really sprung to life and just started playing football. And you know, it's working, so obviously did something right. I'm recording this technically on Friday morning. Thursday night is what I would say. I still haven't heard anything about the Hatfield database, so I've absolutely no idea what's going on with that. Oh, I just conceded. Adam May. But yeah, I've no idea what's going on with that database now. I've kind of got to the point where if it's released, of course I'll still play it and I'll make videos on it. But I've got this inkling that it's just not going to happen this year. So whether it will be done for next year or not, I don't know. It's not the end of the world if it's not. If worse comes to worse, then I'll find a way around it. It's a little disappointing because I had a really good idea for the Hatfield save this year, which I can always do in the future. Like I said, it's not the end of the world, but yeah, it's just a little disappointing. I feel bad for Dan because he put so much pride into his work, and it's not his fault that it's not working. It's something to do with the game code was changed for this year, and it's just affected the database in a way that no one can really understand or explain at the moment. But you know, that's life. That's the way the games work sometimes. Something people in the forums need to remember is it's done voluntarily. You know, the database is not an obligation. Oof, it was nearly 2-all then. That's why I don't like the match plans not kicking in, because, like I say, we're flying blind. Not doing a particularly good job now. We've let things slide a little bit. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Yeah, the database isn't an obligation. It's something that, you know, Dan does for fun and we all play it for fun. And there's some real nasty people on that forum that seem to think it's their God-given right to demand the database immediately. All these people who really could have gone out and made it themselves in the time that they take, and then they would have found out firsthand why it's not been working. Maybe then they'd shut up a little bit more and actually wait patiently like the rest of us. And normally in these situations I'll just keep quiet and keep myself to myself, but a couple of times on that forum I've had to tell people to be quiet because it really does wind me up. Being someone who's been on the other side of it, where you're trying to fulfill, like, you feel obligated to do it yourself because of your own standards that you set yourself. And I know that's how Dan would work as well. So he wants to make it work because he takes pride in his work. And he's just as annoyed as the rest of us that it's not working. In fact, he'll be 3 or 4 times as annoyed as the rest of us because it's not working. But I've been in that situation where I've said I'll do something and I've tried my hardest to do it and it's just not working. And the people who I'm supposedly doing it for don't understand that. And they just keep banging on about, why is it not working? Why is it not working? Why haven't you fixed it? And it does get to the point where you just throw your hands up and walk away from it because you can't be dealing with that. And I think that's the point that we've reached at the moment with this database. Is it's clearly not working. The reasons behind it we haven't ascertained yet. I don't know whether anyone's actually contacted the game devs to find out from them what we can do to make it work. But yeah, there's some really impatient people on there that just seem to think, you know, that it has to work immediately. And I mean, there's one guy on there who keeps talking about next year's game, like it's coming out next week. He keeps saying, "Oh, we're not going to have enough time to do it before FM19." But you know, we're just going into April now, and the game comes out in November. There's plenty of time, 7 months still, to enjoy the database. But yeah, like I say, I normally keep quiet on this sort of thing, but it's wound me up now to the point that I feel I have to say something. None of these people watch these videos, by the way, so I'm kind of ranting to nobody. But I don't know. It's just frustrating. Not that the database isn't working. I can understand that. It's frustrating how people react to it. Oh, Hancock. Headed over from like a yard, was that? Hancock's not playing well this game. Played well last game. Oof. Fryer dropped it. How they didn't score there, I do not know. Alright. I'm going to make a couple of subs. Felivi on for Hancock. Phillips on for King. And we'll leave it at that for now. Great. Mason own goal, that's gone down as. That's not good. That's twice we've been ahead, and that's twice we've let it slip. Not good enough, boys. Not good enough. Yes. I'm going to alter the tactics again. Oh, hang on. Is that? No, that's not. Thought it was different then, but it's not. It's exactly the bloody same. Right, Rome, expressive, retain for now. That. All of this is fine. Higher tempo. We'll see what that does. Quite like to take the lead again. 2 draws isn't the end of the world, but it's still not great compared to what we should have been doing. I think I might play a third match in this episode. We'll see how long the gap is, because I know there's international call-ups and stuff coming up soon. But I really want to show you guys the match plans working, because it's really, really cool to see them working. You get to see how the system changes and things like that. It's really frustrating when it's not working, like it is now. No, I said I just had this feeling in the back of my head when I was getting ready to record this episode. I just thought, I bet it won't work now, because I've gotten really excited about it and thought, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I could show everyone all the match plans I've got set up. And yeah, just the game decides not today. Alright, we've got just over a minute to go. Let's see if we can score again. Long ball forward from Phillips to absolutely no one. I mean, yeah, okay, I asked him to play long balls and clear it to the flanks and things like that, but that was an atrocious pass from Phillips. Great challenge by Mason. Not the best pass in the world to Fryer. Certainly not the best kick in the world from Fryer. Jones is on a yellow, so he can't commit. Phillips, Longstaff, Feruz. Plays it out wide to Bjordal. Back inside to Longstaff. Long ball over the top to Samuel. Good control from him. Whips it in. Oh, Falevi. I thought he'd scored then. I thought he'd scored. Oh, that's so painful. Especially when it hits the crossbar and goes over the top. They're always the painful ones. You just want it to drop down again so you can have another crack. Okay, we are finishing strong. Careful, Jones. Don't finish too strong. Phillips plays it back. Fryer boots it forward. Jones with the good control. Oy, got lucky there. Samuel, no, he's giving it away, and that's full time. Right, let's find out why this match plan isn't working. So we got Walsall in 4 days. So if I go here, match plans, that, use. Right, continue. I don't think it's because we've got too many. That shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything to Bjordal. He did great for the first 15 minutes and then he disappeared for the rest of the game. Right, gotta remember, when I do the pre-match tactical briefing, check to see if the match plans are there. And if they're not, then add them. But they should be there because I've selected them. There was the other thing actually, when I was doing it off camera, is I didn't have to keep going into match plans and setting it. So I didn't have to keep doing this, this, and then that. It was just already set up. I don't know. There should be something else that you have to do, so you don't have to go through the tactics window all the time. It should exist outside of that setting. It should also exist outside of the tactical briefings as well. It should just be something. So if you go tactics, you have team instructions here, and then here have all the match plans. So then you associate match plans with tactics, saved tactics, and not just generic ones for any situation. Because there are sometimes, like if you start with a 4-2-3-1 like I do, you're probably going to be playing with different match plans than if you start with a 4-4-2. Particularly when half of my scenarios revolve around keeping the same formation but trying out different mentalities and things like that. And yeah, you can set up different batches of match plans in the match plan screen, but it's a lot easier just to do it from the tactics screen for each particular system that you play. I think I'm making sense. I hope I'm making sense. Alright, Redmond's out for 3 to 4 weeks. I was going to say that this was helping with keeping injuries. Right, they're all there. They are all there. So the drawing one should kick in to start with. And then the rest. So let's say Suarez, not that Suarez, because this is a guy I tried to sign on loan a couple of times, and Buckley. And then I'm going to end the meeting. So the match plans were there. You saw them, they were there. So, in theory, when we go into this game now, the match plan should kick in for drawing. Only one way to find out. Okay. So there's nothing here about match plans. So I'm just going to submit the team. We're going to go into the game, and then we're going to see if it's working or not. If it's working, fantastic. You get to see the really nice football that we've been playing. If it's not working, I'm going to tear my hair out, throw my computer through the window, and then do a quick Google search and find out if I'm missing something again. Alright, so I don't know whether it happens immediately from kickoff. There we go. Change tactic to M4J3. Perfect. So now it's working. So we've switched to the tactic. If I go into this now, you can see we're playing attacking. All of this is all being set up exactly how we want it. Perfect. And then the game ticks on with nothing actually happening. If we win today, we go up to 4th again, which is quite nice. But then Burton are on the same number of points as us currently, and they have a game in hand. And Ipswich have just taken the lead, but their goal difference is 0. So, well, it's 1 now actually. They've just scored another one. Right, Ekekren. Not really sure why Hancock's playing that deep, but he did win the header, so fair enough. Feruz to Segura, plays it long. Brilliant takedown by Samuel, and he scores. Right, now hopefully, after the replay for this goal, the tactic will change again. So you'll see currently where it's green, it should go green again, and it will say that we've changed tactic. This is a nice goal. Segura with a very good ball forward. First time pass, nice takedown by Samuel. I've been playing a lot of FIFA Online recently, and I've scored a couple of goals like that myself. So it's a really nice feeling when you can bring it down, cut inside, and score like that. Alright, has it changed? Yes. Change tactic. Perfect. Much better. And there you go, the team shape has changed as well to flexible. So we scored in the 16th minute. So between now and the 26th minute, we're going to be playing a lot more contained, a lot more defensive. Although for some reason... Oh, is it counter? I think it might be counter we switched to. Is it counter? No, it's contain. So it has to try and stop us conceding immediately after we've scored. Once we get to the 26th minute, it should change back to... actually, that's a good question. What does it change back to? But it's changed to something after 26 minutes. I don't know what. Or maybe it's just the winning by a goal. Or it might change to just the default one, actually. I mean, we're still on contain, so I don't actually know what that's changed to. I might have to have a look at that after the game. As long as it doesn't cost us, then, you know, it's not the end of the world. I'll say that a lot. It's not the end of the world. Really, I mean, it isn't the end of the world, but I do get very pent up about things when they don't work properly. It's the engineer in me. Just wants things to work. Alright, they've got a player injured. So we're still sitting 4th currently, which is nice. Don't actually know if Burton are playing at the same time as us or not. I have to check that. Right. So after this game I will go back into match plans and I'll set up a generic tactic for if we're a goal up at any time during the game. Just set it to control, something like that. So we're just keeping things ticking over quite nicely. It's very quiet quiet game since the goal. We've dropped to 5th now. Burton have taken the lead. Yeah, very quiet game. We're not really making any chances. I think that's because of the way our instructions are set up now. We're still set to contain. Definitely need to fix that then, because it's very negative. Yes, I do have instances where we switch to playing very defensive, but to play pretty much the entire game like this, because we've gone 1-0 up, that's not very good. Neither team are having any chances. 6 shots, 3 on target all game. It's not very good. They've had 7 and 3 now. So we're stopping them scoring, but we're stopping ourselves scoring too, which is not the smartest idea. I'm going to bring Pittman on for Feruz. McEachran's looking tired as well, so I'm going to bring on Hyam. But you can see overall the team is a lot more what's the word I'm looking for? Well, a lot fitter, I suppose is the right phrase. Okay, so now we're 1-0 up, winning by a goal between the 75th and 85th minutes. So we have now changed tactics again to play more. Is it counter-attack we're set to now? No, it's just contain. All of this stuff though still needs to be changed, and it hasn't been. Once we get to the 85th minute, it will change again. Actually, that's the point. Has it changed to the... I think it's changed the formation. Find out in a second. No, it hasn't actually. Pittman's still playing as an attacking midfield centre. I'm sure the formation was supposed to have changed. Alright, 85th minute. And it still hasn't changed. Oh, you're kidding me. Longstaff own goal this time. Right, so what's this? Drawing, having just conceded. We should be switching to now. Except it hasn't changed. Why have you not changed? So stupid. I just don't understand this game sometimes. I really don't. Overload. Take more risks, more expressive, roam from positions, blah, blah, blah. Play. Push forward. Can't draw another game, surely not. Hopeless. Right, Fryer with a catch. I think that's full time, to be honest. Looks like we've run out of time. Yep. Ugh, bloody match plans. I'm going to lose my mind over this sodding feature. It's such a good idea. It just feels a bit slapdash with the implementation at the moment. Alright, tactics. Match plans. Okay. Use versus Milton Keynes. Add scenario. So, winning by 1+ goal at any time. We're going to play the current tactic. Control. Very fluid. And then we're going to do retain possession, shorter passing, pass into space, work ball into box, play out of defence, float crosses. No, low crosses I think we should do. Run at defence. Exploit the left flank, exploit the right flank, look for overlap, play much wider, push higher up, why not, roam from positions. This is the interesting one as well, allow wide players to swap, because I've never seen that actually happen despite the fact I do have it switched on. Close down less, because we should be in control of the game. Stay on feet, most definitely. Prevent short goal kick distribution. This also shouldn't be a scroll list. This should be like the instructions on the tactics window, because it's very annoying having to scroll down all the time. Be more expressive. So there's that one. We got the drawing for 10 minutes after conceding a goal. Set to counter and all that stuff. What was the other one I wanted to set up? Drawing at any time. I suppose I could set up another one for drawing with 5 minutes to go. And we'll go this, overload, very fluid, more direct, clear border flanks, yeah, hit early crosses, whip them in, dribble less, shoot on sight, exploit the left flank, exploit the right flank, look for overlap, it's always important, play much wider, much higher defensive line, because we're trying to get back into the game. Actually no, just push higher up, let's not go stupid. Roam, allow wide players to swap, close down much more, get stuck in, tighter marking, try and win the ball back as quickly as possible, higher tempo, take more risks. Alright, we got a lot of stuff here. Make sure that's definitely set up. And I think we'll call that an episode. It's quite annoying. It's quite annoying that. 3 draws. It's so frustrating. Okay. So the question really is, does this one overwrite this one? I'm hoping it does. I don't know if there's an order to them or anything. We got a lot of scenarios here though, so there are some where they conflict, and maybe that's another factor in why they're not working properly. But I don't know. Someone can tell me in the comments, I'm sure. So it's a long episode today, 3 matches. Mainly so that I could show off the match plans, and unfortunately that didn't quite work out. Also so I can show off how well the team were playing, and that definitely didn't work out. So fingers crossed in the future we'll come back and actually do some more good stuff. So the next time we will be back will be in January for the FA Cup first round, because we're nearly there. I mean, we're coming into late September now, so we're not that far away when you actually look at the calendar. It always feels like a long time away, but it's only a few games when you think there's only a game a week. Sometimes on a Wednesday as well, but yeah. Playing on Wednesdays instead of Tuesdays for some reason. I have no idea why that is. But yes, that is the end of the episode, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and of course if you enjoyed the series. Drop some comments down below with ideas for tactics, transfers, staff additions, and also tell me why the match plans aren't working. See if we can get them fixed for next episode. Or at least the next episode I record after I read the comments. You know what I mean. Besides that, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you guys for your continued support. And until next time, I will see you soon.